Okay, so my album ranking today is not a full album ranking, more of a period piece ranking. It's a beloved band that's been around for almost 60 years. Started out, I believe, in 62 or 3. And had a few lineup changes, not so much. Original bad boys of rock and roll, okay? The counterparts to the Beatles. It's going to be the Rolling Stones. Now, I'm only covering their output from 1968 to 81. It's 10 albums. And that to me is the cream of the crop of the Rolling Stones. Now, of course, there's the the 64 to 67, with a ton of great songs. And then there's the period from 83 to 2005, which was kind of like their last album release. So, but I'm not covering that. Those albums, decent tracks, but they're not solid albums like these all are. And some of these can be somewhat sketchy, but they all have charm and they're all original. So that output in 12, 13 years was phenomenal. So, I think it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So at number 10 in Stone's glory years, we have Black and Blue. Say Black and Blue, released in 1976. This is when Ron Wood kind of officially joined the band after Mick Taylor left. Some good stuff on here. It does have one of my all-time favorite Stone songs, which is The Hand of Fate. I'm also really partial to Crazy Mama. There's a great riff on that song. But overall, a weird album, and they had a lot of guest players on here, like the solo in Hand of Fate isn't Ron Wood or Keith Richards, but still, cool cover too, though, isn't it? I love that cover. It's like really just personifies the Stones, that cover. So that's number 10. Okay, and then at number 9 we have Emotional Rescue. This is like, I consider this like part of their New York trilogy. Interesting album. Obviously the title track, one of the most famous songs. She's So Cold, fantastic. I like the song Dance Part 1, because there was never a Part 2. Indian Girl's good. Down in the Hole. Yeah, I mean, interesting album. I liked it. I still like it. Because, this is 1980s Emotional Rescue. Very weird cover. Not exactly a good cover. Okay, and then after that, we have 1980s Tattoo You. There's Keith on the back. I actually saw them on this tour. Saw them up at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Don't know exactly what that that deer foot. It's a weird shoe, eh? But this does have one of my all-time favorite songs on it by the Stones, which is Waiting on a Friend. What's peculiar about this album is that most of it were knockoffs and throwaways from prior albums in the 70s. I think even going as far back as Goat's Head Soup. But Start Me Up and Waiting on a Friend's fantastic. That's the song that reminds me of New York. Probably because of the music video. So that's number 9. That's number 8. Okay, so number 7, we have It's Only Rock and Roll, but I like it. Okay, this has got some good stuff on here. Time Waits for No One is absolutely fantastic. If You Can't Rock Me, of course, the title track, It's Only Rock and Roll. That's really good. few guest players, keyboard guest players: Billy Preston, Nicky Hopkins, Ian Stewart. Time Waits for No One and Dance Little Sister. That's a really good one too. And good album. Now, some people might be a little shocked at this next pick for me, which comes in at number 6, and that would be Beggar's Banquet, 1968. This is the album that the Stones started completely changing. This was released right after the Satanic Majesty's Request. Now it's got some of their all-time favorite songs: Sympathy for the Devil, Street Fighting Man, Salt of the Earth, Stray Cat Blues. It's a real country album, with the exception of the 2 singles from this. It's weird, you know? That was the inside cover. Debauched Beggar's Banquet, alright? This is, would kind of officially be the last record with Brian Jones. But some classics on here. But that comes in at number 6 for me. And then we have, at number 5, we have Some Girls. Now this is like a complete New York City album. Everything just reminds me of New York City. Whether it's Miss You or Shattered. It's just all New York City references. And this came out in 78, the height of the punk movement. And, you know, some of the songs even, you know, I mean, of course, there's Miss You. Every song on here is a standout classic, top to bottom. When the Whip Comes Down, Just My Imagination, Some Girls, Lies. See, Lies and Respectable. It's kind of almost like they're going into a little punk territory there. Fast songs. Beast of Burden, Shattered, Some Girls. Man, they'll never play that on the radio, trust me. But yeah, interesting album cover. When it first came out, all these, you know, there would be a slide actually on the LP. And there's Keith. It's like a drag album. It's hilarious. Faraway Eyes. I think that was like a big country hit for them too. That's another one they wouldn't play on the radio because of the lyrics. Okay, that's number 5. Number 4 is the 1972 double album, Exile on Main Street. Recorded when the Stones were in exile due to taxation in France. In Delacote. That's where Keith rented a house in Delacote. I think the name of it was Delacote. Yeah, it's a cool album. Lots of songs. 18 songs. Double album. Lots of material on here. You know, Leads Off, Rocks Off, Rip This Joint, Tumbling Dice, Casino Boogie, Happy. Really cool stuff. Good stuff. So that's number 4, Exile on Main Street, the double album from the Rolling Stones in 72. Okay, so then next up at number 3, I have Goat's Head Soup. This is an oft-forgotten Stones album. Nobody really talks about it. Interesting, weird cover. Let's see if I can get this out of the thing here. There's Mick. Then there's the actual Goat Head Soup. I don't know where that's made. I think because they recorded this in Jamaica, that might be a delicacy. There's the band, Mick Taylor, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts. I really like this album. It's got 2 of my Dancing with Mr. D, 100 Years, To Do, which is one of my all-time favorite Stone songs. Angie, of course, Star Fucker. There you go, that's number 3. Goat's Head Soup. Number 2, the Warhol cover, Sticky Fingers. I remember when this came out, the zipper went up and down. Excellent album, came out in 71. 1971. Really cool. Excellent. Another classic, top to bottom. Brown Sugar. Wild Horses, Can't You Hear Me Knocking? Dead Flowers, Sister Morphine, Bitch. It just put the album on, sit back and listen. Same as this one. Same as a lot of them. Some girls, you just put the album down and let it play right through. That's a real triumph when you can make an album like that. That's what's inside the trouser cover. And this is actually Mick Taylor's first official album with them. He was a lot younger than them, I think. That's a cool photograph, I thought. I think this is the first time they used that logo, too. The Stones' tongue. This is the first time they used the logo. And then, of course, we have, it's not too hard to figure out, Let It Bleed. Let It Bleed. From 1969. Hands down, to me, their best album. It's just got so much. This is when they had rock and roll. They did that rock and roll circus thing. Everybody showed up. I think this is an anniversary edition. Cool pictures. Now, Brian Jones was here, but I think he passed away before this album was released. Sad. Really sad. This is December. I think that's Mick Taylor right here. Brian Jones passed away in July of '69. I'm not sure when this album came out. I know this is also the year that they were performing at Altamont. Yeah, fantastic album. Fantastical. Jean-Luc Godard. Here's a great picture of Brian Jones. Sad, really sad that he this is the last photograph. This is Brian Jones. There's a stone. I guess it was taken. I don't know. It says here December, but he had already died, so maybe they didn't release the photo. This is Mick Taylor. He was involved in this album, but he wasn't officially a Rolling Stone at that point. Some more cool photos. But yeah, the track "Give Me Shelter." This is like Martin Scorsese's soundtrack music. Right here, this whole album. Whether it's "Give Me Shelter," Monkey Man, Midnight Rambler, right here. Every Scorsese movie's got something from this album in it. I love it though. Fantastic album. The number one in that middle decade, the cream of the crop of the Rolling Stones. Let It Bleed. There you go. So, and then, boom, Sticky Fingers, number 2. Goat's Head Soup, number 3. Exile, double album, single disc, number 4. Some Girls, 5. Beggar's Banquet, 6. It's Only Rock and Roll, number 7. Tattoo You, number 8. Emotional Rescue, number 9. And Black and Blue, number 10.